Your environment might be the reason you're not growing, and most people don't even realize it. So, today in our live session, we're going to have a conversation around how your environment affects your life, the effects of your environment on you. Now, when we talk about success, success is not just about the effort you put in alone, it's not just about how smart you are. It is also about the environment you live in, the people you associate with, the mindset that you grow with, right? It affects your success in life. Now, a lot of people believe that when they work hard, when they put in the effort, they are disciplined and they are consistent, then it's just going to, work out. But the truth is, success is not just about the personal effort that you put in. Your environment affects your level of success to a great extent.
Exactly. So, in expanding more on this, I'm going to talk about how exposure matters greatly. I don't know if you've seen some people. In fact, I heard a story of one person talking. The guy believed that he had so much in himself, but he was living in a ghetto. He always attended training. So he was opportune to meet a great man. He asked him, I know I am a great person, but my where I'm staying is limiting me. What should I do? Person told him, what you can do today is to look for a wealthy man and go and become a gate man there.
Wow.
All right, go and become a gate man. When I heard that story, I was like, this is deep, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to give you money, because if I give you money and you go back to your environment, that money will disappear. Go to a wealthy environment, find a rich person, go and apply and become a gate man there. Then bring in that's your expertise, that's your skills there. Over a period of time, like Joseph in the Bible, they will elevate you. They will tell you, oh, there's something with this guy. And of
Yeah.
course, if you have good character over a period of time, you will move from that being a gate man. All right. So that is the power of an exposure. That's how your environment actually affects you and affects your life. So if you are still thinking, I have good skills, I am great, I am disciplined, I'm committed, but everything around you, every time you wake up, you feel down, you feel downcasted, you are struggling to step out of the bed to do what you ought to do, it's time for you to start moving out. But when you step into an environment where people are already building, where people are growing, where people are taking bold steps, you start seeing yourself that is possible. In fact, it happened to me. It happened to me. I'm going to share a quick story of how it happened to me. All right. I stepped into working in Body Global, and I was around people that was constantly making sales. And to me, I didn't know I was going to do that. But because I was around people who were doing stuff,
And you
I
were
was like,
seeing it.
and I was seeing it. I was
Yeah.
like, I can do this. And before you knew it, I started. So that is how powerful your environment matter. So it doesn't stop you from thinking. Think is great, but carry that thinking or carry yourself into an environment that will help you bring that your big thinking into reality.
Yeah. And just to add to that, if you're in an environment where nobody talks about growth, nobody talks about books, nobody talks about business or self-improvement, to an extent that it becomes normal to you.
Exactly.
There's something really wrong. You cannot compare yourself with someone who is in that kind of environment. So, for instance, someone is around people who read daily. Now, in our space, let's use our space as an example.
Yeah.
You're around people who make videos every day. You're around people who make sales, just like you mentioned, every day.
Exactly.
You're around people who want to be better than they were yesterday.
Exactly.
There is no way you're going to be, the person who is different. The only thing that will happen to you is if you don't upgrade, if you don't raise up your standards to become like them over time, the system is going to filter, like sieve you out.
Exactly.
You realize that you're no longer on the same level with these people.
Yeah.
And same thing for someone who wasn't on that level and probably just found themselves in that environment and are determined to grow and change, their mindset, be around high value people. Over time, you become like them.
Exactly.
And, just like she said, your exposure matters to you. Now, what prompts this exposure? I would like to say that location. It also depends on location. So just like I heard someone say, and the thing entered me very well this morning, the person says that if you don't change your environment will change you. And that's exactly what she mentioned earlier. But now let's go deeper. Imagine that there are certain opportunities that are supposed to come to you, but simply because you are in one village where there's no electricity, you're going to miss those opportunities.
Exactly.
Maybe you're smart, maybe you're a remote worker, but the challenge you have in your environment is that there's no lights. You don't have constant electricity. Meanwhile, someone else is in a location where there's constant electricity. Now, your environment changes how you think completely. Your environment makes you either raise your standards or drop them below bar. Now, for some people, maybe the cities where they live, they don't drive certain kind of cars there. They don't have very good roads. They don't have really beautiful houses. But when you move from that environment and come to an environment that is completely different, for instance, let's say Abuja. Now, the way Abuja is structured is quite different from other cities. We have other cities in Nigeria that are beautiful, but maybe your city where you are is not as structured, properly organized, and beautiful like Abuja. And then when you leave that place and you come to Abuja, you notice that over time, and you're serious with your life, I need to add that, over time, you begin to think, you begin to do things differently, because here you're seeing big wide roads, you're seeing, money literally walking on the road, because the kind of cars people drive around, people are driving cars that are worth millions of naira. Some of these cars, you don't even see them in the city that you're coming from. And then over time, your lifestyle, you raise your standard, you begin to see these things that they are very normal, and then maybe before you spend like 100,000 for your daily needs or your basic needs, but you realize that suddenly you've upgraded. That 100,000 is no longer
enough for you.
Is no longer enough for you. And now this also means that you have to double the effort you put in to make money
daily.
Because for you to survive in this kind of environment, it requires that everything about you need to change, need to improve, need to increase, need to raise to the bar. So your efforts and your mindset and every other thing you do also has to change. But if you're in an environment or a location where you don't have access to some of these opportunities, you don't have access to see these things and realize that it's normal. Let's say for our business, I'm going to use that again because that's what just keep coming to my mind. So before I started real estate, right, I was into this thing, Oriflame, this network marketing, right? And I was introduced into, they didn't even tell me it was real estate. They just said, oh, you're a good marketer, come and do this. And I was interested. I was, let me give it a shot. But me at the time, I was just looking for something that would allow me to do my marketing. Like I'll have time for my marketing. And when I went there, I realized it was real estate. The first thing that struck my mind was when I noticed that, oh, if I sell a 2 million naira property, I could make like 200,000 naira because it was a 10%, it was a 10% commission that I'll be paid. That was when I realized, oh, so I can actually make 200,000 naira at a go. And then I said, okay, if I sell 10 of these 2 million naira properties, I'm going to make 1 million. Now, what happened to me is that I realized that things like 2 million, 10 million, 5 million are just figures. Like they are just normal, And over time, I also realized that if you call 100 million, 500 million, 1 billion, I don't know how to explain it, but I am not so like excited or impressed because it's normal. I keep hearing those figures every day in my field. And the other day I was listening to a program on radio and someone said that they're going to award 10 million naira to anyone who agrees to do a live show with their family. You know, this live show you do online, and then you're showing almost all your daily activities, how you live your life, and the reward was 10 million. You know, I was in a vehicle and subconsciously I just said it out loud. 10 million is too small. For me to show my entire lifestyle for the entire world to see. You want to reward me with 10 million? 10 million is too small, but that's because of the environment that I'm used to. I felt like, oh, why not talk about 100 million? Why not talk about 500 million? Why not talk about 1 billion as a reward? Why will be saying 10 million, right? So your location, where you are, affects even your success. Maybe you're successful, or you may think or believe that you're successful in that place where you are. Exactly. But coming to a better place, you realize that, this thing I was calling success, I have not even started. I've not even gotten to half of what other people are achieving. So it is very important that you change your environment. Remember, I started by saying, if you don't change your environment will change you. If you don't raise your standards, you will drop. There's no middle ground. This is powerful. Okay, so what we're going to do now is talk about how you can start today, because these things we are saying is deep truths. They are hard truths. It's not something you wake up and run with. It's something you have to build systems around. Something you have to, if someone is not there to constantly remind you, if you start it today, the next day you'll drop down again. So it's a system of staying around people who will, even when you don't feel like it, even when your spirit is not in the mood, people, the environment around, people around you will motivate you. Let's talk about network. All right, like I shared in that story, quick story I shared, go somewhere or go to a wealthy environment and serve there. Over a period of time, your skills and your character will speak for you. How can you do that? Like I said, it's one thing for you to think bold, think big, but if you are in a place that constantly frustrates you, you will not grow, you will shrink, you will literally see your dreams being taken off you. And nobody wants that. It's not a good experience. Okay, so network matters. So always go around people who think higher and talk higher constantly. All right, don't feel intimidated by them. That's another thing that happens to people. You go around people, you feel like, oh, they are faking it. What if they are not faking it? What if they are letting you in on their lifestyle? Wow. And they can't change it. You see people tell you that, oh, they, like a perfect example is they come into the house and they scatter money. Like you always say money around. And I'm like, the way the people are doing this thing, some negative minds will start feeling like, oh, these people are doing either ritual or no. Everybody that is rich is not a ritualist. Everybody that is wealthy is not Yahoo or 419. No. So open your mind to the possibility that people are wealthy and they're doing it legitimately. So you can go connect with them. And again, a lot of mistake people do is that when you connect with those people, you want to grow immediately. These things, they built it over the years. Exactly. I always have an opportunity of talking to people. I always ask them, how did you start? All right. Some people were handed over wealth to, others built their own. How did you start? I have heard stories of people who their parents were wealthy. In fact, it started from grandparents. All right. I've had people who built their own, started from ground up. So the manner is always different, but at the end of the day, the principles are the same. So if you always see yourself that your environment is constantly making you not to achieve what you want to achieve, it's time for you to change it. It's time for you to move. Exactly. All right. Nobody can change your life better than you. All right. So don't keep saying, oh, it's because of my father, it's because of my mother, my sister didn't give me money, my auntie didn't give me money. This is that year you have to stop. You have to believe so much in yourself. You have to constantly remind yourself that you can do it. And it boils down to you. Nobody owns your life better than you do. So quit blaming people, quit telling is that it's because of other people. It is me. I have to stand up and do the work. So don't stay comfortable. Comfort zone is another thing that kills people. Like, maybe when you have maybe a good family that gives you money,
or food morning, afternoon, night, you think life is okay.
Accommodation.
Free accommodation.
Like there's nothing worrying you. There's nothing
Jesus.
pursuing you.
Free
Like
accommodation.
you're not also responsible for somebody. Anybody. So you're
you're okay. You will not grow. But that's comfortable. You can't go in that. So, but when you're surrounded with people who are doing more, thinking bigger, aiming higher, then growth becomes inevitable for you. You have to.
Yeah.
And again, she said something that sometimes you can still see people stay in that same environment of growth and don't grow. So what happened? So the factor remains in you. Yes. You have to desire it. You have to desire it. You have to be positive about it. And eventually you can catch the spirit and your life will start turning around from there.
So I want to say that you don't just become what you think, not what you think per se. Yeah, what you think. What I mean by that is you don't become what you dream about. That's what I mean by thinking, right? Maybe you're there, you're dreaming, and in your dreams, you're wishing that you're successful. You're wishing that you're like other, high value people that you see around. No, it become who you constantly surround yourself with. So there's this saying that if you are around 5 billionaires, you're likely to be the 6th. The same thing goes if you're around 5 people that are foolish. Even if no matter how smart you are,
very soon, you're working towards.
You become the 6th foolish person. Okay, so your wrong environment equals to slow growth, or let's say no growth at all. Like I mentioned earlier, there's no middle ground. It's either you level up or you're down, right? So if you're in an environment or a location that does not suit you, that does not encourage you to grow, you're going to remain stuck for life. And sometimes you're so stuck that you begin to wonder if your village people are after you. No, you need to change your environment. That is the thing that is disturbing you. And that's what you should do, right? So you might not really be the problem per se. Your environment might be the problem. So there are people who changed nothing about their skills, right? But the moment they changed their environment, things changed for them. And I think I've seen a lot of people, I've witnessed that. Personally, I've experienced that as well. So like what we'll leave you with today is that if you feel stuck, if you feel frustrated, and you feel that you're not moving forward, right? Don't just question only your efforts. Question your environment, because the right environment doesn't just support growth, it accelerates it.
Exactly. Wow. So as we round up this video section, I hope you found value. All right. What's something that you'll start doing today? Like I said, sometimes comfort zone is anti-growth.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's possible you are just comfortable. All right. So that could also affect your growth. So what would you start doing today as a person differently? Remember, this series we are doing is not to put you under pressure, but also to mirror some things to you that maybe you're not thinking about. And environment is one of it. So all you can do today is, if you found value, do well to let us know in the comment section, and also subscribe to our channel, because we constantly, as much as we are Browdy Global and we sell real estate here in Abuja, we are also interested in the well-being or in the growth of you all around. That's what we are doing, and that's what we are also spreading this, why we are spreading this message. So if you are capable, if you know you are capable of more and you want to see results, then this is the time for you to stop blaming yourself and start rising up to repositioning yourself. How do I get to the center or in the middle of people doing stuff? Right? They may tell you, oh, I can't pay you. It's okay, I can start. Let me come there, stay in the environment, hear the numbers, watch their plates, look at what they are doing, see how they position, look at how they walk, look at how they talk. Over a period of time, they will start finding you valuable and they can start paying you. So don't blame anybody again. This is the season you have to stand up and get your life moving forward. All right. Remember, these topics are not age sensitive. Like, it's not for the young, it's for everybody. It's for the young, the middle, and the old. So at the point where you are now, check what is shrinking you, what environment is shrinking you. It can be even family. Anything that is shrinking you, you have the power in your hands to step out of it.
Exactly.
All right. Become all you can be, then come back for change. Don't stay there and shrink with them. All right. Thank you for sticking with us, and we hope to see you very soon again. Bye for now.